Hello, I'm Greg Holloway, and welcome to the Common Sense Texans video debate among the Republican gubernatorial candidates, Rick Perry, Kay Bailey Hutchison, and Deborah Medina. Each of the candidates will be presented with 10 questions that have been prepared by grassroots conservatives around the state. Now let's go to one of these questions right now.
Well, obviously, I think the most important thing that a governor does is create the environment where job creators know that they can come and risk their capital in the state and have a chance to succeed. We're not going to guarantee them success, but we're going to guarantee them the environment to succeed if they want to risk their capital. Job creation is the most important thing that a governor does, because without that, you can't reach any of the other programs that are important to people, whether it's education. There are three things from the standpoint of infrastructure in the state that we've got to have as we grow, whether it's transportation infrastructure or electric power infrastructure, water infrastructure. Those three foundational things you got to have, but you can't build them if you don't have the wealth created by the private sector to pay for those. So I would suggest that no matter who you are or what all your grandiose ideas and visions are for the state, if you're not a job creator and you're not focused on creating an environment where people not only can keep more of what they work hard for, but give them that protection from over-regulation, over-litigation, and make sure there's a skilled workforce in the state, those four things are how you build a foundation that allows your state to grow.
I think the most important item to prepare our state for the future is ethics and government reform. If there's anything that will set the standard for our state going forward, it is to assure that we have sunshine in government. Number one, we need term limits for governor. No person should have control of every board, every commission, every university board of regents. We should have 8 years as a maximum. 2 4-year terms should be the maximum that a governor can serve. That in itself will begin the process of assuring that there will be new people coming in, and one person will not be able to use his power and influence to continue himself in office for longer than 8 years. Number two, we need to restore the balance of powers to our Texas legislature. In the Constitution, the legislature has the right to override vetoes. The legislature has the right, the Senate has the right to confirm the governor's appointees. The governor is robbing the Senate of that right by holding people over that are appointees that should be reappointed or a new person appointed when the Senate is in session, so that those people will not have to all go before the Senate for confirmation. If he waits until the Senate's out of session, then that person can serve for 2 more years. That's not right, and it takes away the balance of powers that is in our Constitution. The other area is the overriding of vetoes. When the governor does not allow a veto, the governor doesn't veto in time for the legislature to have the opportunity to override, then he's robbing them of a key balance of power. And I would ask for a constitutional amendment that would allow the legislature to come back into session after the biennial session, in order to override a veto if the legislature wants to do that and has the votes to do it. I think we must disperse power. I don't think Texans want one person to have so much power that they use it in a heavy-handed way, pressure appointees to boards and commissions to do what the governor wants, letting the chairman of one of his commissions that has licensing power for businesses under his control solicit contributions for the governor of the people that he regulates. That is not good policy, and I will stop it if I'm governor of Texas.
I think there's no question that the most critical critical thing that we have to address is private property ownership. It is, again, an essential element of freedom. We have to really understand that, understand the prosperity that comes when men are free, understand the reduction in costs that will occur as a result of eliminating property tax. Many believe that that's just for the wealthy or just for the traditional homeowner. And yet I know from conversations that we've had with commercial property investors and others that they would be forced, the market would force them to drop their rents. In fact, I had a conversation with one man in Mineola, Texas, who told me his rents would go down 25%. Eliminating property tax will bring prosperity to this state in ways that we haven't dreamed about in years. It's time to start dreaming again in Texas. And when we do things that protect our freedom, when we tell our people that they can own property and that they can own and possess weapons to protect their property, when we restore true gun ownership and true private property ownership, we'll see prosperity returning to our state in ways that we haven't thought about in a long time. Texans are dreaming again. We're dreaming again because we understand the value of freedom. We understand that our founders staked their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to secure this freedom for us. In our own lifetime, we saw children in Tiananmen Square, young adults in Tiananmen Square die for this very freedom. It's time that Texas forge policies that will protect freedom, and where there's freedom, there'll be great prosperity. Number one, we must eliminate property tax. We must get it done in that first legislative session. Many Texans are joining together to make sure that that will happen, and I look forward to leading that charge.